Hey guys, so as some of you know, I have lived in Ghana for over 6 years in total and I've traveled there over 10 times. I lost count. So I feel like I'm a little bit qualified to share with you some things that you might find surprising about Ghana. Before I get into the video, make sure that you save it and share it with a friend who might be traveling to Ghana. So the first thing that I found surprising when I first visited Ghana back in 2011, they do not accept things with your left hand. It is rude to greet people, shake people with your left hand, purchase things with your left hand, give money with your left hands, give gifts with your left hand. They see it as dirty, so always use your right hand. Now, in places like Accra, they're very used to tourists, so they're not going to give you a hard time, but there are some people who will not accept something if you give it to them with their left hand, so just be mindful. One time I went to a funeral with a friend, and in part of the funeral, all the older relatives come around and walk around to greet everyone, and I was waving with my left hand, and my friend just gave me the most disgusting look and said, "What on earth are you doing? You don't greet with your left hand." And I felt so ashamed. So please keep this in mind when you're in Ghana. Especially if you are melanated, they will just assume that you're from Ghana, that you should know this, and it comes across rude. The second thing that I found surprising is how helpful Ghanaians are. So I've had a couple of situations in Ghana where I have needed help and didn't even have to ask for it. So twice I fell into one of the open drains and immediately a crowd came around. One person went to get me slippers, like flip-flops, which in Ghana they call chaliwate. Another person went to get me water. And when I looked up, there was a whole crowd of people around me. So they're very, very kind. Another time I was very, very sick and I needed lemon and ginger. Didn't know where to go, what to do. I came outside my gate and I just spoke to this random guy. I said, "Please, can you help me get some lemon because I can't get any?" And he took me to his mum's house, and at the back they had a lemon tree and he picked lemons off the tree for me. That doesn't happen here, which brings me on to the third thing, is the open drains. Obviously, I fell in them twice. No disrespect to Ghana. Ghana, you have my heart. I love you. But this is an issue that we need to resolve, the open drains. I have not been able to avoid them, and I fell into them twice. And one time I had an accident. Before I left the country, I had to have a little operation, and I came to Ghana on crutches. I hopped to the shop near to my flat, and then the drain was in between the road and the actual kiosk, just like kind of in the way. And I was going to hand the money over to the teller, and I just remember seeing stars, and then two men picked me up, and I'd fallen and hit my other leg, so I was in a wheelchair. Another time I was crossing the road, and again, bang, straight into drain. So just be aware of them. It's not every single place. Some places are covered up, but just be aware. Don't walk too close to them, because if you're like me and you're clumsy, you're going to end up in a ditch. The fourth thing I want to talk about is the heat. Now, I lived in Jamaica, but I was much younger then, and I forgot how hot it can get. Ghana, it gets hot. So beware of that. You will come out of the shower and you'll be sweating. You'll be in a taxi going to wherever you're going and you'll be sweating. You'll be walking down the road, you'll be sweating. At night, you'll be sweating. It can get really, really hot in Ghana. So prepare for the hotter months in Ghana. It can be crazy. Now, this one might come across as a surprise to some people because some people don't know. One time I went to visit Ghana. This was like 2012 or 13. And I was cooking and I filmed it. And a friend from England asked me, "Oh my God, they have cookers in Ghana." So do not be surprised that some people, if you haven't been there, you might not know because of what you see on TV. English is the official language in Ghana. People speak English. So when you go to Ghana, you don't have to worry about language being a barrier. People speak English there. Okay? Renting in Ghana. Renting can be a shocker to some people. Most places in Ghana, when you rent long term, you have to pay at least a year up front. Now, officially, it is illegal, but because sometimes the laws don't work, it's generally expected for you to pay a year up front. Saying that, however, generally Ghana is cheaper than the UK, but if you're looking for the standard of living in the UK, it might cost you the same or even more. So beware that you might be paying a whole year up front with most landlords if you want to rent in Ghana. The last one is about fashion, clothing. In Ghana, it is not appropriate to expose too much skin. In more tourist areas, people are a bit more relaxed now, but when I was living there, around 2012-13, I remember going to the market and I had this short-ish top on and my back was exposed just a little bit at the bottom, and oh my goodness, the market woman came over me, giving me cloths, and they were saying, "Your back, your back, your back." I'm like, "What is on my back? What's on my back?" And somebody who I was with just said, "Your back is exposed. They don't like you exposing yourself." As I said, in Accra, it's a bit different because there are a lot of tourists and they kind of expect it, but generally, as a rule of thumb, dress a bit more modestly when you're in Ghana. So that's all. I hope you like this video. Please save it, as I said, and follow for more. Bye!